Not very many roguelike games make me as rock hard as Cult of the Lamb, but this game made me shed a single tear when it was over because of how beautiful it was. The main plot of the story is basically that you're about to get executed, but suddenly you're transported to the realm of death. All right, and this is where you meet the one who waits. He's like this cat-looking thing. He's an odd-looking fellow, all right? But in exchange for a second chance at life, the Lamb promises to kill the 4 bosses that are keeping him chained down, and he's going to start a cult worshipping him. And that's basically all the lore you need to know. Now, I'm going to jump right into the real meat and potatoes here and just say the art in this game is absolutely addicting. The level design is great. It's very simplistic yet effective, all right? Every level, every place, like there's 4 like little areas I've been to. Every single one looks different, but it's like beautiful. Each dungeon has randomized paths that you can take with different rewards such as resources, food, or more followers to rescue for your cult, so no run will ever look the same. After your run, your rescued followers will be summoned at your home base, and you can name them into whatever you want. They're essentially your slaves now. You can force them to harvest wood, mine stone, and even farm for you. I know with my world, one of my favorite things to do was to like plant the seeds or like put them in the little box and they'd come by and pick up the seeds and plant them for me. It was absolutely awesome. All right. And they'll do all of that for you when you're in dungeons, slaying monsters, getting coins. They'll be working, they'll be chopping trees, mining for you. It's cool. And then you come back and you get all these resources. You can build new things at your base. It's super, super cool. But not to be the bad bearer of ball sacks or anything, but it's not all good and dandy. You do have to take care of them, believe it or not. They can't just be slaves. You have to cook for them, do quests for them, and even clean up their vomit and shit to upgrade your broom. Yes, you have to clean up so much vomit and shit, you upgrade your broom, and there's tiers to it. Now, not to brag or anything, but by the end of the playthrough, I had the ultimate maxed out broom to show as a battle axe of all the piss and shit I had to slay in the name of victory. Of course, you can make janitor stations and outhouses, but by the time I had unlocked that, I had grown too attached to harvesting the feces of my followers. I feel as though it made me form a deeper bond with them. But anyways, as you progress through the game, there's other like abilities you can grant yourself. So for example, grassy gruel. If I was to make my people eat grass, there's a chance it would make them sick, but I can get the grass eater perk thing, and then they won't get any bad effects from it. So I can just like hit a few blades of grass on my runs and then just bring home a bunch of grass to feed them. It's a huge time save, and it's just, you can make different builds for yourself. It's really, really cool. When it comes to the actual dungeons themselves, they're relatively quick. They range from like 5 to 10 minutes on average to complete each one. And after 4 mini bosses, you can fight the main boss for that area. And for each like main boss that you defeat, it'll release a chain from the cat guy I was telling you about earlier until he's released. In the start of each run, you'll get a random weapon and a random curse to either help or hurt you on your run. Yes, some weapons are worse than others, but it doesn't really matter to me much since I'm just gaming Jesus. But I figured I'd throw it out there. There's some slow weapons that hit hard and there's some weak weapons that hit quick, that sort of thing. But there's just a different play style that you can adapt to each weapon, right? I don't know if I like that it's completely random, but some people will like it, some people won't like it, but it didn't affect me too much, you know what I mean? Because the bosses aren't too hard in this game. Even if you're a noob, you can still pick up the controller and beat the boss in under 10 attempts. So if you're more experienced in like 2D rolling dodge games sort of thing, like Cuphead, for example, like I would probably start on hard mode because the bosses and stuff really aren't too difficult. But I will say the dodging and rolling in this game makes me edge every time I hit B on my controller. It's so quick and snappy and smooth. It makes me feel like a real badass lamb. Now, if I haven't already sold you yet on this silly little lamb game, I will say there is much more to do here. One of the things I enjoyed most was actually designing my base, creating a farm, a med station, and even like upgrading the main shrine to make it bigger and shinier to remind those peasants who daddy is. But if you're not into that, you want to be a nicer guy, you don't want to be doing all that crazy shit, there's also dice games that has, very simple rules, and it's actually really fun. And there's fishing with fishing quests to do, and by doing those quests, you can unlock new fleeces for your lamb with new special abilities, with new ways to play. It's really, really crazy. But in my reviews, I try not to spoil anything too crazy, so I don't want to go like like super into depth. I want you guys to, pick this game up for yourself for sure and experience things for the first time. I don't want to just spoil everything here, but overall, I will say that Cult of the Lamb is genuinely an amazing game, and I really recommend it. It is absolutely great. If I was to rate Cult of the Lamb out of 10, I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. It's just a great game. It's not something that would make me and my morning stiffy get out of bed early to play it before work, but it's definitely still something worth playing at least once, especially if it goes on sale. Throw it in your library, forget about it, dig it up one day and be like, damn, this is a good game. How like, when did I get this? Oh my God. It is a fantastic game that I definitely recommend you guys at least try once. But that is really all I have for you guys today. Make sure to tell me why you disagree in the comments. Goodbye.